Thinking of taking a cruise on a Silversea ship, and you see that some of them say they have salt on board? What are they talking about? Hey, this is Jack with Luxury Cruise Tips. Do me a favor and subscribe to the videos. Hit the like button. Also hit the bell for notifications. So I've cruised Silversea a bunch recently. Recently just took the Silver Dawn and they had the salt experience on board. This is the second time I've had the salt experience. The first time I'm thinking, what is this salt all about? So let's talk about what salt's all about so you have a better understanding of if you want to try salt or if you really don't care about salt. So first, the salt experience is on the Moon, the Dawn, the Nova, and it will be on the Silver Ray, the new ship coming out. So let's talk about what it is. So salt really is four components. You have the salt restaurant, you have the salt bar, you have the salt lab, and the salt experience or land experience. So what does SALT stand for? So SALT stands for see and land and taste. Says a lot. What does it really mean? So let's break down the four components of salt based upon my experience for the past two sailings that I've had a salt experience. So if you look at the first experience, which is to me amazing, it's the salt restaurant. So salt restaurant is a large restaurant. The premise on salt restaurant is that they have a menu. On the menu, the left side of the menu will change pretty much every day depending upon where you are. The right side of the menu is regional. Now my last cruise, which was a Baltic cruise, we were talking to the chef and he said on the left side, that menu out of 15 days, he changed 13 days. That's amazing. So the right side menu is going to be pretty much regional, and that's going to stay the whole voyage. That other page will change daily. They will also have some local wines from the region, as well as what I was told is they will try to get wines or have drinks indigenous to that specific port we're in. The chef told me that he actually worked with purveyors in each locations for special things. They had recipes, whether it was a dessert or an entree, but you really couldn't get bored in the restaurant as long as you like the foods in the region. So if you don't like the foods in the region, then I don't know if salt's going to be for you, but I've experienced it in the Med now and also in the Baltic. So it is a great experience. The servers do a good job of explaining the food to you. Both times I've sailed on a salt experience, the chef has walked the dining room, was open to talking to you about how he came up with the recipes, where they came from, and overall I really enjoyed it. I think the one negative thing about it is if you experience something one night and you go back a couple nights later and you're not in the same port, it's probably not going to be on the menu. So I would say if there's something you see on that left side of the menu that you have interest in, I would order it just to try it, because again, you may never see it again. The right side of the menu is always going to be there for the voyage. So that's the salt restaurant. You do not need reservations for the salt restaurant. Now right next to the salt restaurant is the salt bar. It is small. What I have seen is they will bring in a guest mixologist or bartender. Pretty unique stuff. I had a conversation with the bartender on this past sailing, and they basically gave him carte blanche he had a 4-week contract. They gave him carte blanche. He created his own drinks, had a customized drink menu. They had some signature drinks, but he could order his own ingredients. They had drinks that were smoky. They had special barware. They had certain alcohol in the salt bar that they did not have anywhere else on the ship. So it does get crowded. I would say the capacity is maybe 30 to 40 people, so it's pretty tight on both the Dawn and the Moon. I have not experienced it on the Nova, but I'm told it's bigger, and the same thing on the Ray. But it's a great place to go before eating at Atlantide or in Salt, or just going at any time, because again, the drinks are pretty unique. They're different drinks than on the menus. that you may see anywhere else on the ship. I also noticed different brands on the back bar that were not at any place else on the ship. And again, that's why I spoke to the bartender, and he said when he created these drinks, he gave them a shopping list and they were able to do it. It was a really unique experience. So I would say it's a great thing to stop at either before any restaurant or definitely before Salt. Now the next component of Salt is the lab. So the lab is basically a cooking class. I would sign up for it ASAP. You cannot sign up for it from home before you sail. So as soon as you get on the cruise, you want to check out what's going on, what days they're doing, and they will give you information as to if they're cooking certain recipes, if there's a lecture, or what's happening there. The sailing that I was on recently, the chef was on for 4 weeks also. He was not a chef on the restaurants on board. He was brought on just for Salt. So he crafted a specific program based upon the itinerary. So he had Estonian meatballs. He was making Polish noodles. He actually spoke about the variations of meatballs in different places. So when you walk in, there are cooking stations. As I recall, there are approximately 12 cooking stations. And they did a great job of making this easy. They had most of it laid out in front of you. You had knives, the stations were all set up for you. He would explain to you what you were doing, why you were doing it. You would cook it, and the best part is you got to eat it. I've also done this on the Moon when I was in the Med. It was a lot of fun. Same thing, we did Greek dishes. So it's very interesting, but again, the key is they will typically do it 2 times a day, and sometimes they'll do the same program a couple different days. My experience has been that they're doing it on sea days as well as port days. So I think as soon as you get on the ship, you want to learn about it because it's very limited. They do run a wait list. I had a great experience one day, decided we wanted to go back another day, and we had to get on a wait list. And what they tell you is just come to the class, sit outside, and if someone doesn't show, you can go in. They also, in this last sailing, were doubling you up so that they could actually get more people. I don't think they thought this would be as popular as it really is. So you could probably have 30 cooking stations in there and it would be full on sometimes. So that is the Salt Lab, and it's not the recipes typically that are in the restaurant. It's something that this guest chef has created just to teach you how to do these things. So that is the Salt Lab. Now your fourth component of Salt is going to be the Salt Land experiences. So in essence, these are excursions with the chef. Now, we did not participate in any of them, again, because we couldn't book them prior. It wasn't until we got on the ship that we saw these, and we already had other things. Now, a couple of them were going to a market, some were going to a Michelin star rated restaurant in the given areas, and I would say from what I saw of them and heard from people that did experience them, the chef that was managing Salt was coordinating these and also accompanying you on the experiences. So next time I do try a Silversea cruise with Salt, I'm definitely going to check them out. I'm told that moving forward, they will have these listed as part of the excursions that you can pre-book. They are extra money. They are not part of the included excursion options. So when we did look at some of them were on board, they were the Michelin star rated restaurant lunches. They were fairly pricey, but very, very unique experiences. So again, this is what Salt is about. I really enjoyed it. It's different. I haven't seen anything on any other ship that really takes in where you are, regionalizes everything, whether it's just your drinks or your dinners or learning to cook or going out with the chef, which other cruise lines and river cruise lines do have kind of those culinary experiences of going to a market. But I would love to see them put Salt on pretty much every ship. I do like on some of the other non-Salt ships that they do have an Asian restaurant, Indoshine, on the Spirit and the Muse. But, you know, it is what it is. I think it is something for the future. It really gets you immersive into the culinary experience, into the location. So try salt if it's on one of your ships, but check it out as soon as you get on so you can learn more about what the options are. Please sign on for my videos in the future, hit the like button, and you'll get notified when new videos come out, which is every week.